Hi, hello. Today we shall be developing panel data, and we have three models such as pooled OLS model, then fixed effect model, and random effect model. And here we have six countries such as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And here we have three variables such as export, import, and GDP. And here we want to check the relationship between export and other two variables such as import and GDP. Here we have we have taken five dummy variables such as D2, D3, D4, D5, and D6, as we have six countries. Then fixed effect model can be estimated in few ways. One way is by using dummy variables, and that is why I have taken dummy variables here. And our data is from 2000 until 2010, so our total observation would be 66. Okay, so number one is the pooled model. Here, what we have done, we have pooled all 66 observation together and run the OLS model, neglecting the cross section and time series nature of data. Okay, so meaning that we assume that all the countries are same. Okay, and here the major problem with this model is that it does not distinguish between the various countries that we have. In other words, by combining six countries, in other words, I'm sorry, I've done mistakes. Okay, and here the major problem with this model is that it does not distinguish between the various countries that we have. In other words, by combining six countries by pooling, we deny the heterogeneity or individuality that may exist among six countries, not four. Here we have six countries, meaning that here we assume that all the countries are same, but it may not be possible, right? Or it may not happen like that. Okay, in this pooled model, we have pooled all the observation in OLS model, meaning that we assume that all the coefficient, including the intercept, are the same for all the individuals, right? Okay, then the second one, what is fixed effect model? Fixed effect model, the fixed effect model or LSDV model allows for heterogeneity or individuality among six countries by allowing to have its own intercept value. So here should be 6 countries, not 4, right? And the term fixed affect is due to the fact that although the intercept may differ across countries, but intercept does not vary over time. That is, it is time invariant. And we have third model, that is a random affect model. Here our 6 countries, done mistakes again. Here our 6 countries have a common mean value for the intercept. Okay, now what I shall do, I shall apply the Hausman test to check which model, fixed affect or random affect, is suitable to accept. And here, what is the null hypothesis? Null hypothesis is random affect model is appropriate, and alternative hypothesis is fixed affect model is appropriate. And if I get a statistically significant p-value, I shall use fixed affect model, otherwise random affect model. Then afterwards I shall check which model is appropriate, fixed affect or pooled OLS model. And here the null hypothesis is all dummy variables are equal to 0, meaning that pooled OLS model. And what is alternative hypothesis? Fixed affect model. Okay. And here we have the data. The data is here. I'm sorry. Our data is here. I just show you this is my data. You can see all the data. You can see we have the data, our export, GDP, import, and we have dummy variables. You can see, right? So what I'm doing, I'm just 1 minute. I am opening all the variables that we have, right? I'm opening all the variables. You can see, open as a group. You can see all the data, you know. So here you can see our total data, and here you can see we have import, GDP, and export, and dummy variable, right? Because we have 5 countries, so I have taken 5 dummy variable, that is D6, D5, D4, D3, and D2. So there must have 5 dummy variables, right? So the dummy variables are here. So you can see all the data is here. The data is here. Right. So that is the data, right? Until this, right? Data is here. You can see the total data of my model. And here the export is the dependent variables, right? Okay. Okay, then, okay, so what I do, first I estimate fixed affect model. That I do first. Fixed affect model. Fixed affect model. Okay. And this fixed affect model can be estimated in many ways, right? Fixed affect model can be estimated in many ways. Okay, so here I first estimate fixed effect model. So I go to quick, then I go to estimate equation. Then here I put my dependent variable, that is export C import and then GDP. Right here you can see the dependent variable, and import and GDP are the independent variable. And then I select panel option. You can see from here, panel option, I select it. And from here I select fixed effect, right? Fixed effect, I select it. Okay, then it is done. We are set. Then I press OK. So it is the fixed effect model. You can see from here, right? Fixed effect model is this one. You can see this is the fixed effect model that we have done. Okay, now I estimate random effect model, right? Random effect model that I do now. So what I do, I click on the estimate, right? I click here, estimate. Okay, then it is done already. Export is the dependent variable. Import and GDP are the independent variables. Okay, then I select panel option as before, and here I select random effect. Here I select random effect. So we are set, we are ready. I press OK. So this one is the random effect model, right? Okay, now actually the which model is right? Which model is appropriate? So I can use the Hausman test to check, right? To check, okay. Okay, so here I go to view, then I go to fix random effect testing. Then here is the test of Hausman. It is here. I select this one, Hausman test. You can see. So this one, Hausman test, and this one is the chi-square value, and this one is the probability. Okay. Now the question is that what is the null hypothesis that I check? The null hypothesis is null is random. Okay, I do it here. Okay, null is random effect model is appropriate. That is the null. And what is alternative hypothesis? Fixed effect model is appropriate, right? There are two models. Okay, and this is the null and alternative. And here you can see the probability value is how much? The probability value is very small, less than 5%. Less than 5%, meaning that I can reject the null hypothesis and can accept the alternative hypothesis, meaning that fixed effect model is the most appropriate model. Okay. Now I can further check which model is appropriate, right? Appropriate fixed effect, fixed effect model or pooled regression model, right? So that we can also check which model is appropriate, fixed effect model or pooled regression model. Okay, now Now I shall use the dummy variable. I shall use the dummy variables to estimate fixed effect model, right? Right? Uh, because uh, because because I can estimate fixed effect model in a number of ways, number of number of ways, and dummy variable, right, is one of the ways, right? Okay. Okay, and dummy variable is one of the ways. Okay, so what I do? Okay, so I can estimate it using dummy variable, the fixed effect model. How? I go to quick, right? You can see quick estimate equation, and export is the dependent variable, and then I follow actually this style. This style I follow. Export equal to first one is the intercept, then C2 is the coefficient of GDP, plus C3 is the coefficient of import, and then I take C4 is the coefficient of our dummy variable. First dummy variable is C2, plus C5 is the coefficient of dummy variable D3, and then C6 is the coefficient of dummy variable D4, plus C7 is the coefficient of dummy variable D5, plus C8 is the dummy variable of D6, right? So here you can see C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, C7, C8. So we are done, right? We are done here. Right? We are all done. It is set properly. Just I double check, right? I just double check the whole things, C2, C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, C7. I think it is all right. Then I select panel option here, right? Okay, then it is none, right? It is none. So here I select none, none, right? So then I press OK. I press OK. Then I press yes. So actually this outcome actually fixed effect model outcome, right? So actually we have got the same outcome, meaning that the coefficient of GDP and import are the same as before. That means C2, that is the coefficient of GDP, and C3 is the coefficient of import, should be same for all ways of estimating fixed effect model, right? I am telling again, C2 and C3, these two coefficient, meaning that coefficient of GDP and import should be same for all ways of fixed effect model estimation. Okay, that means this model is the fixed effect model. Okay, now the question is that which model is appropriate, fixed effect or pooled OLS model? Okay, here I set the null hypothesis. Okay, I set the null hypothesis. What is the null hypothesis? Null is pooled regression model, right? That is called null hypothesis. So here, meaning that all dummy variables will be 0, right? So that is the null hypothesis. An alternative hypothesis is fixed effect model, right? Okay. So meaning that what is the null hypothesis? All dummy variables should be 0, and what is alternative? Fixed effect model. Okay, here I can use the I can use the I can use the what? I can use the I can use wall test, right? To check to check to check whether all dummy variables are 0 or not, right? That we can check. Okay, how to check it? And here our dummy variable, you can see from C4, C5, C6, C7 and C8, right? Starting from C4 until C8. Okay, I go to view, then I coefficient diagnostic, then I go to the wall test, right? I go to wall test. So I put our hypothesis C4 equal to C5 equal to C6 equal to C7 C7 equal to C8. Okay, so they are 0 or not, right? That means they are 0 or not. If they are 0, meaning that we accept null hypothesis. And if they are not 0, we can reject null hypothesis. Okay, I press OK. So here is the wall test, and here is the chi-square value, or you can take the F statistics, right? And here what is happening? The F statistics is how much? F statistics is 33.75, and the probability value is very small, less than 5%, right? It is almost 0, less than 5%, meaning that we can reject the null hypothesis and can accept the alternative hypothesis, meaning that fixed effect model is the appropriate model from this F statistics test, right? Okay, fixed effect that means fixed effect model is the appropriate model. So what is our decision? The decision is that the Hausman test and F statistics, right, both are telling that fixed effect model is the most appropriate model. Okay. Okay, now the question is that we can estimate the fixed effect model again. So I can make it again, fixed effect. I click on the estimate, right? So this is my model, fixed effect model. I press OK. So this is the fixed effect model. using dummy variable. So this model is the most appropriate model. And here you can see the what is C2. C2 is the what? C2 is the GDP. And what is C3? C3 is the import, right? C3 is the import. So here I can see C2, that is GDP. GDP, yeah, this one is a significant variable to explain export, right? And the sign is positive. Sign is positive. And the second one, that is import. Import is not a significant variable because probability value is 45.95%, and that is more than 5%. So import variable is not a significant variable to explain export, right? But GDP, that is C2, this one is a significant variable to explain our dependent variable, which is export. Okay, so thank you very much for staying with me for a while, and good luck.